We are heading into the 13th of December 2020. The monsoon is the big topic across the Western Pacific. And I'll get out of the way here. Yeah, there's another area here, a little tropical disturbance that I'm keeping a very close eye on as we go ahead into next week. Could pass south of Guam and maybe, a lot of question marks, eventually head towards the Philippines. First, let's take a look at that monsoonal pattern because that's really what's governing the entire picture here. We have high pressure over eastern areas of China, or low pressure just southeast of Japan. Now that low is going to lift off and pull towards the northeast, creating this monsoonal flow, which, by the way, some decent and pretty persistent sea effect snowfall in the forecast for those resorts across the mountains of Japan, Honshu, and over towards Hokkaido. They need the snow. Last season was rough for the mountains of Japan. First, they started off with a pretty weak start to the winter. And then when the snow finally did arrive, which was heading into March and April, we all know, everything shut down in March and April. So they just suffered last year. So thankfully, there is some snow in the forecast. And thankfully, a lot of the resorts are open. People are going to be getting outside, and a lot of people are cooped up. This is heading into Monday. And then as we go over towards Tuesday, that monsoonal flow continues to push across Japan. Let's actually go back to Monday night. You see it stretching all the way down here towards the Philippines. And then as we go ahead into Tuesday, it continues to wrap around. Winds are going to be picking up in the Philippines. And yeah, northern areas of Luzon as we go ahead into Tuesday night. Wednesday morning, it is going to be chilly out here. Chilly for you. Temperatures pushing down into the teens, might even get into the single digits in some of the higher elevations. Baguio, for example, up in the mountaintops, definitely could be getting a little bit cooler by Tuesday night. Now, here's by Wednesday night. So the monsoonal flows in full force here. You see, Tuesday, we have gale force conditions. Wednesday night, monsoonal flow in full force. So pretty much besides in Luzon, East Coast, rough surf out there. Definitely not great for mariners. But look at this right here by Wednesday night. There is our little tropical disturbance, which I'm showing now towards the south of Guam. It could by midweek start to pull out here. Now this is the ECMWF model. The GFS doesn't have a wrapped up center of circulation. What it has is more of a broad trough, but gustier conditions back towards the north. So there's a few different aspects here. I know I've shown this graphic a few times because it's not much has changed. We're still watching this low here, and it could be something to develop as we go ahead into this upcoming week, passing south of Guam and eventually out here towards the Philippines. So, hey, if you're in Mindanao, we all know December storms are not something that's welcome. BOFA always comes to mind back in 2012, Washi the year prior. I'm not saying this is going to develop. I'm just saying you can't remove it completely from the table. If it stays south of that monsoonal surge, could bring some rough weather out there towards southern areas of the Philippines. At the very least, increase the monsoon, which will bring gale force conditions and increase showers across most of the country. So you don't need a typhoon to have rough weather. But boy, it is something to watch. Hey, let's pull back the bigger picture here, though, and I want to give you guys geography lessons because far too many people on my last video I posted about our cyclone down here asked, is this going to hit the Philippines, Japan, Taiwan? This is in the southern hemisphere. We have a cyclone out here located towards the north of Vanuatu, towards the east of, or excuse me, I should say east of Vanuatu, northwest of Fiji here. Is expected to intensify. Very weak steering flow around this guy. So basically from Vanuatu to Fiji, needs to watch this very, very closely because it is going to linger here. It is expected to intensify, but there's no direct path. It's kind of wobbling around because it's in an absolutely terrible steering flow here. So it's not just getting pushed off into one direction or another. Anyways, I hope you found that video useful. Hey, if that system over Chuuk in the areas south of Guam does develop further, I'm going to have more detailed updates on that and how it is going to interact with the monsoon. But I think it's important to know the monsoon is the major player right now. It should keep that further towards the south and disrupt it. But if it stays south of the monsoon and doesn't get disrupted, there's a lot of questions here. We got about a week to watch out. But you know what the number one thing is? There's an area there that is to be watched at this time. That makes sense. instead of just imagining something and looking at long-range models. Here's a look here. Please subscribe. Follow me on all these social media platforms as well. I'm getting off into the weeds. If you guys have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please let me know down in the comment box below. Number one thing, as always, of course, is stay safe out there. Thanks for watching. Bye.